Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of my tournament games as we finally have made it. The first time for me in Seal Division, I made it into a final of a tournament. And I'm up against no one else but Onord in a really interesting matchup. As we are here with two American divisions fighting each other. On my left side, we have Task Force 45, and on the right side in blue, we have Second Indian Head. Two really strong divisions, but we got through pick and ban without banning them, as I felt like Onord is pretty good with Axis divisions, and I wanted to not play against his best there, and I also wanted to play some Americans myself, so I left them open, and we ended up in a Task Force 45 versus Second Indian Head matchup, with a lot of good infantry, Shermans, Hellcats and Hellcat prototypes, and long range AA on my side as well, M10s on both sides. On the other side, long range HE in the form of the M5 and the M3, and yeah, a lot of rifle earlys, rifle lates. On my side, converted gunners, and then Niseis in B phase. So a really interesting matchup, and I was really hyped. As, yeah, first time tournament finals. Obviously, I'm the underdog here by a long shot, as Onord is a finalist of last season's league in Division 1. Meanwhile, I would not make it into Division 1 at all if I would play in league. So, yeah, I was outgunned and I had to use my chances, and I plan to do so. Like, yeah, first engagements planned on the hill by me. Big gun from the get-go to help out around here. Slightly too far forward. Meanwhile, down in the south, rushing for ammo and pioneers. Also, if you want to see the picks and bans, I this time put them down below. Yep, if you want to see how we ended up on this map. And let me know if you like it better this way or if I show them on display on the screen. Ammo and pioneers coming up. P70 against rifle earlys. Getting a kill. First blood for me. P70 had to disengage. A20 Havoc coming in as recon. Meanwhile, down here, only a T30 for the opponent. Two M10s, because I thought he might maybe try to push through here. And then over here, the mortar half-track, because I feel like mortar half-tracks against all his stationary guns will be really good. Meanwhile, he got in range of my M2 gun. Just ever so slightly, but he got in range. And that was annoying. Getting under fire there. Instantly falling back, but already taking quite a bit of damage there. Going down to 2 hit points from 9. P70 around. Mortar half-track coming up. Converted gunners versus rifle earlys. They actually have more firepower for the same price, but are disheartened. And with same veterancy here. Also the half-track being annoying. Ranger marauders around with bazookas. On my side, bazooka infantry are cavalry scouts. So both sides have that part covered. P70 holding the line in the center. Down in the south, no action at the moment. So all the focus was up here from both players. Ammo and pioneers, my TNT squadrons for the A-phase from the recon squad part. P38 trying to hunt down my M2, luckily not quite getting the job done. Already trailing black smoke, but a 2-star Bofors on the enemy sides as well. Forcing back my Folgore before it can kill off the P38. P70 in a pickle. Doesn't want to get shot off by that. Luckily, opponent does miss. So my T70 can disengage out of this fight with the M5 gun. And at the meantime, my mortars start their job, and Onord has this way too bunched up. So 3 targets within one circle, 3 great targets. The 50 cal MG, the M3 howitzer, and the M5 gun. Mostly the MG gets hit there. but I don't get up the hill. He was here a bit fast at the beginning, and I really struggled to get here. Ammo Pioneers also not quite engaging at 100 meters, so they don't throw the TNT. But at least the M2 gun here helping out, shooting the long ranges, getting me a bit up there again. Pretty frustrating at the beginning though, this whole engagement. All his guns now forced to fall back. Second mortar half-track coming in, continuously trying to bully that fight up there on the hill with its accuracy, thanks to radio units. Now trying to go for the Bofors, then trying to go for this position again with the first mortar. Infantry, yeah, back and forth, trying to push up there, being forced back. Bofors getting decently hit here with the first shell. More shells coming in, going lower and lower. German coming up, but has to be careful with the bazookas being around. Can't go too far. Has to be really, really careful. Will support against the rifle earlies pretty well though, if it's 2-star veterancy, and it's 50 cal. And the mortars also continuously flying. M5 gun engaging my infantry down here. P38 being pushed back. German helps, pushing back the rifle earlies. Can't really go up though. If I go up, I run into a Ranger Marauder. Bofors over here, forcing back the A20 slowly but surely. P70 finds another shot onto the M3 gun. Artillery coming in once more. Starting to get some hits. And gets the M5 gun. M5 gun down. That's a good kill. And that's what these mortars are for. Keeping batteries like this completely occupied throughout the game. So, yeah, with breaking this position slightly, I sadly can't follow up quick enough as the converted gunners did fall back too far. But I'm on the way to try to continuously hit his stuff with my mortars. Try to also maybe get his P38 to overextend so that my P51s and my Folgors, I have one P51, one Folgor at this point I think, can hunt it down. But he's pretty good on his air micro, not overextending too much. Bofors also constantly moving. Good action there. M3 not down either. Yeah, P51 came around. Not sure what I tried to do here with it. Like that was a bit off on the micro. P38 on the other hand is pretty good on the micro. Yeah, P51 coming out like that was a big mistake. Losing my recon plane there, which is big. And the second Bofors is coming in already to replace any possible falling Bofors on Onord side. And this, at the same time, Onord has set up a new battery down here. And this battery is really tough to break, as the M5 beats the M10 on long range, as I don't have 2000 meter HE on these, only 1750 meters, so I have to get into range. The M3 beats back any infantry, and the Bofors is good enough at beating any air. So the plan of dealing with this is the same as up here, using artillery. Artillery is the one thing that these things can't do much against, and that they're relatively easy to hit with, as they are slow and sluggish. P70 here also trying to help out against the M3. Mortar half-track on the side of Onord now as well, trying to go for my M2 gun, which is still moving as well. P70 getting some HE shields, but it sadly doesn't have the best HE shields out there. Not quite getting the kill just yet. Converted gunners did advance a bit, but the Ranger Marauder is still around. And one gun in the north up there as well. Mortar trying to hit that as well. Another T70 coming in, my second one. But mortar half-track is now moving to the south to try to deal with this. AA coming around in the south as well. 1-star veteran CM15s, pretty good AA. The M2 gun in the north does fall though. As it took too much damage early on. I should have played that better. Should have deployed it a bit further back. It was a bit overeager, and now his P-38 comes in for some strafing. P-51 though is trying to get behind it, but Onord is pretty good at the air micro and keeps it moving away. Fulgor not fast enough to hunt it down here, so the Fulgor will have to break off. But my micro there, not quite up. Should have turned it back earlier. Gets a lot of damage from the two Bofors. Meanwhile, P-38 with bombs now on the hunt for the T-70. And these bombs deal a lot of damage and they get the kill. P-51 trying to come in. Trying to hunt them down. On the hunt for the P-38. AA, another AA piece on the way. But obviously a heavy investment. This is something that doesn't quite affect the front line directly. Mortar half-track keeps on firing onto the M1 gun. That already did deal a bit of good damage. Meanwhile, over here, M8 and T30 are annoying. M10 trying to come out. One M8 already down here. And another one bites the dust. So good kills there for me. M10 really paying off. Has to disengage though, as the T30 on Onord's side did so as well. M10 gun coming around. M3 firing onto the converted gun is up there. Sadly, no radio around here right now, so my mortar wouldn't be as accurate as I would wish for. Also, Sherman over here getting in trouble, as the M1 gun somehow didn't fall. Pretty unlucky there with my mortar shots. Somehow it doesn't fall, gets the kill onto my Sherman. Big loss there. Sherman's really key up here. Sherman at least get that one. Infantry not moving. I should have moved him up right now. If I would have pushed at this moment, I could have broken him there maybe. Or at least put some damage on, as all his reinforcements lately went to the south. Half-track could fire here as well. A lot of reinforcements in the south for Onord. So maybe there would have been something possible in the north. As I said, if I would have killed the M1 gun with a earlier mortar battery, with some slightly luckier hits, then I'm pretty sure I could have broken this earlier. Maybe a bit too defensive here in my mindset. Maybe a bit too much. Oh no, Onord is so strong, I shouldn't push him there. And yeah, too overeager with trying to deal with this down in the south. Big artillery gun coming in. Mortar piece trying to hit the Bofors. And yeah, artillery is the solution, I would say, that I have in my deck against this. So trying to use it. Bofors disengaging though. Onord good on the micro. Half-track goes down. 10 has to be careful, but good kill there. 14-10 for Onord, so tick starts to get close to annoying. And the M1 gun still somehow not down. Like, my mortars really don't want to hit there. It's really annoying. Rifle early go down here. Like, that was 3 or 4 salvos fired into that M1 gun. And it didn't move that much. So, that was quite something. M3 gun being around here. Artillery now unloaded in the south. M1 Pioneers trying to get some recon on. Should have brought something in with radio from the get-go though. Engineer leaders try to get the radio closer from this forest. P-38 coming around. Nisei rifles as well. Onord bringing in a Rhino in the north. And that is nasty, because Rhino beats normal Shermans quite hard. Mortar now finally tries to finish off this M1 gun. As I keep an eye on it. And more engineers coming for the northern fight as well. But as I said, I should have maybe pushed a bit earlier. M1 gun still not down. This is really frustrating. M3 gun moving a bit again. And down in the south, Onord slowly but surely moving forward here. But now under fire by my mortars and by my M2, M1 103mm artillery piece. Hellcats though now arriving on his side as well, and his have APCR shells, unlike my T-70s that give 2000 meter range. Also, one of my T-70s already down. M3 nearly going down here to the mortar battery. Mortar battery now really trying again to hit the M1 gun again. But my T-70 is under fire by his mortar half-track. And his mortar half-track is hitting way better than mine. His mortar half-track landing 3 shots in succession. So yeah, there you see my mortar half-track not hitting like that. Pretty frustrating RNG there. Still, once more, not getting the kill. Getting the M1 gun down to 1 hit point after 6 salvos. That was some bullshit. Meanwhile, Hellcat came in and killed my 81mm mortar down here as I had it on the wrong spot. Having it up on the ridge was stupid. I should have moved it down here, where it can't be seen from half of the field. And losing that was pretty bad. Losing a plane here as well. P-51 going down. And yeah, Onord really starting to show his skill. M3 guns shooting all around here. And yeah, me not being able to push or not pushing in the north. Really taking any wind out of the sails of my huge investment up here. Whilst his big investment in the south starts to pay off. Ammo and pioneers getting pushed back. And my artilleries now have a lot of work cut out for them. Like basically the big artillery gun has to do a lot. But the mortar half-track not getting the hit is frustrating. 81mm mortar way more occupied with killing that one unit. Because, yeah, I mean, half a supply truck shot into that one M1 gun. That's really something. Meanwhile, Rhino arrives here, and Rhino versus M4A1 is an easy matchup, as my M4A1 basically can't penetrate it. I finally killed the M1 gun. Meanwhile, down in the south, his units keep me on lockdown. Good kill by him. Rifle early is now pushing up, bringing it to 59. 59 super dangerous, as that takes me down really quickly. Rangers LMG versus converted gunners is good for the Rangers LMGs on this range, as they have double MGs. And yeah, Rhino gets the kill on my Sherman. I don't have anything to kill the Rhino up here easily. M10s on these Rangers not great. Artillery mortar finally getting some hits, getting some Rangers killed off there. But losing my artillery down in the south, like my mortar is big. That was a big part of how I wanted to deal with that. Ranger LMGs also now cutting off my spawn here. Pretty annoying. And I don't have any 2000 meter range AT guns. I only have the M10s, which have 2000 meter range. So dealing even with the Hellcats is not that easy. Mortar artillery piece trying to hit the M3. Next artillery piece trying to hit down here. B-25 coming around, but Onord keeps them constantly moving. Doing a really good job there. So the M3 gets annihilated by the 203mm. So there it shows this unit can get me back into the game if my rest of my forces can stay alive. B-25 not getting through. Double Bofors defense too strong. Rangers coming up, pushing me off here. And the Rhino is nasty. M3 howitzer also around. M2 pushing back the P-38s. 1410 for Onord. Another 203mm artillery piece, this time for the north. P-38 coming on Onord's side. 1410 is fine, somewhat. Obviously 50-minute time limit means that I will have to push eventually. But yeah, 59 means I'm just dead relatively soon, so I have to stop that somehow, some way. Range Pioneers getting downed. 2 more Rhinos coming up. I have no M10s up here. M2 gun maybe could do the job as well, but doesn't have any easy shots. Meanwhile, enemy mortar trying to get my M15. Trying to disengage there. P-38 getting some shots in. Onto my P-51. P-38 goes down. Bofors keep getting my P-51 as well though, so that's quite unfortunate. M3 gun here under fire by my mortar. Getting some good hits in there at least. Some pretty good hits there. RNG a bit better this time. Rhinos getting the converted gunners. Up, 50 cal also pushing this back at least, but the issue is in the south. 3 flags fallen here, including the one on the hill. Hellcats and M3s and M5 guns all around. Who tried to hit me there. My artillery not quite as on target as I hoped it would be. So the M1 gun here dealing some good damage. And another M3 gun annihilated by an M1 gun here. Now targeted with hitting the T-70s over here. T-70 bullies coming around though in numbers to try to deal with my M10. Get the kill, converted gunners. Going a bit deep. Herman called in. And the T-30s disengage again after killing one of my M10s. And disengaging completely, so the M1 gun also ain't hitting anything there. Down in the south, at least the Ranger Marauder scouts got killed. M5 gun still around though, but less vision for my opponent. And we get him off this flag, but at the same time, Black in the north has fallen. As I never got a good foothold on this hill because I was too lazy to push, or like too afraid to push. Plus M1 gun killing off Shermans without dying, and now getting replaced again. It was a bit tough. And the M1 gun over here now is occupied with stopping this push. But as I had to invest now a lot in the south, Onord free to invest into the north, as trades there were pretty good. Yeah, he is now pushing me in this town as well. Putting me under a lot of pressure. My M10 tries to hold the line. 915 is up though. And the converted gun is getting pushed back. M3 gun trying to hit the units down here. Converted gunners. Whilst the M1 once more off target. Not quite the perfect artillery positioning that I needed, though still good enough. M5 once more under fire by an M1 gun. The M10 here taking some fights. Now engaging onto the rifle lates. For the gunners holding the line, but still 59. And now a big breakthrough over here. M2 in the rear at least gives some fire support. As I said, Rhinos can't just easily move through there. Artillery piece hits the leader here as well, getting some nice kill. And one gun is important. And Mitchell trying to come in as well. Two Bofors shooting it up though. Getting the stun, forcing it back. Bofors really good AA. Rhino though goes down to the M2. M2 pretty key here in the rear. Has to be careful though, as mortar fire is now coming in on it. Meanwhile, converted gunners trying to come in the south. M10 rolling in here as well. Artillery pieces try to deal with the enemy's stuff. 1410 for Onord. Pick has been reduced, but only slightly. Flag up here is an issue. The Rhino has to fall somehow. These rifles with bazookas might be the solution, but not easy. Maybe some smoke could have helped at this stage. Converted gunners coming in here, as his infantry is around in this part of the map as well. My artillery not firing, not up on my micro there. 3 artillery pieces that are my key lifeline currently not firing. You can see the difference in my micro versus Onord there pretty well. The reason why I'm not the Division 1 player. Whilst the M3 gun is shooting from the rear. And my 50 cal is moving forward, but 2 xylophones now come in to break this position completely. Maybe even a bit unnecessary, as there's not that much there anymore. But xylophones come in. M10 tank destroyers trying to help out from the rear. M1 gun decides to shoot up on the hill. I'm not quite sure what I tried to target there. But the artillery pieces at the same time in the south being silent is a big issue. These guns should never be silent throughout the game. They always should be firing, as they are my damage dealers. They are my way back in here with their big caliber. 81mm, hitting the rifles over here, but I'm getting pushed back off. They are supposed to counter what the enemy is having an advantage in. Those M3 guns, those Bofors. But they're not really doing it right now. Firing up into the north now. And one gun is completely silent though. Ranger LMGs at least getting pushed off. We're getting on the hill. But it's a 16-8 now as these flags fall over here. M10 coming in the south. 2 Hellcats are around. Olgor trying to follow. The M1 gun trying to hit up here. I think I wanted to try to hit the Bofors, but the Bofors moved further forward, so I didn't hit them. Folgor flying too deep, going down as well. At this point I was really frustrated with the game, as yeah, I felt like I did some stupid mistakes that were completely unnecessary, and I did. But yeah, shouldn't have just get overwhelmed that much by my feelings. Yeah, I mean, I know before that it would be a tough match against Onord, and it's really going south right now. Rhino's holding the line. Still one of my best games against Onord in a long while. And I think I had a good idea. Like, yeah, 2nd Indian head is a good division, but so is Task Force 45. I think my artillery play, if it would have been slightly better, if I would have had a bit better RNG, could have done quite a bit more. Then I obviously have to use opportunities that show itself. But still, I'm in the tournament final, and that's what counts. And I still will have one more shot after this game to get back on board, as it's a best of 3. So one more game at least to come, and if we can win that, a decider match. Nisei rifles over here holding the line, but yeah, xylophones by now just obliterating this position. Rhino once more showing its superior firepower compared to the M4, but I knew I needed to hold flags. I needed to get to a 59. I needed to get the flag over here. As you can see, he overextended maybe a bit here, but the south Hellcats get my M10. M10 was my slight hope of maybe trying to get back in here, as we finally have eliminated the guns here. So yeah, that shows if I would have used the guns even more, I could have finished off even more things. M1 gun targeting the Hellcat here now. Not really worthwhile target. My idea was now to maybe, to get to the flags we need, just try to break through in the center. Let's see what goes there. Don't know how the converted gunners all ended up here. They were not, I think they were supposed to go here. I don't think I wanted to have that many up in the open, running into an M3 gun. But yeah, I was frantically clicking over the battlefield now, just to try to get back. Meanwhile, my gun back here got killed off. So one artillery gun down, one of the big guns. Rifle lates moving forward. Ranger LMGs moving in here once more. A lot of rifle lates in the north. And yeah, infantry engagements really didn't went well. And that's my biggest problem compared to my playstyle versus the top level players. Infantry positioning and micro, I'm just so much worse off than the top level players, and there I just don't have any chance. So that's why it was one of the main reasons why I use things like artillery and airplay so much, because I feel like there I'm pretty good, and I feel like I also need those things to equalize my disadvantages. But yeah, M1 gun here, once more killing an M3, the third M3 falling to this M1 gun. So my idea here, I think, really was not a bad one. I just didn't quite have the micro to follow it up. Yeah, hitting a bit more here. Trying to get back here, but 33 seconds remaining. And I'm obviously not coming back from this position. M2 hitting around. Mortar trying to shoot as well. Losing the mortar in the south was really bad. Losing the M2 in the beginning was really bad. And then never doing the push that I could have done here with the investment I did was really tough as well. Because if you're stuck in the open here, your infantry always will trade worse. And that you just can't allow. You need to get into some cover for your infantry to be allowed to trade better. But Onord does it better, and yeah, in the end, KD is in favor of Onord, but I think I did a decent job when it comes to that. Just not quite exploiting the advantages I have, but as I said, I'm happy to be in the finals. For Onord, it's basically what he does every month in the monthly tournament. So yeah, I'm happy to be here, and it was a blast to play, even though I was frustrated at some points. Actually, in the game, whilst in the game, I didn't realize how annoying that M1 gun was. That was something I just realized in the review, and that maybe a bit of RNG blessing could have helped me there. Like, the RNG gods were a bit cruel there, I would say. But yeah, with that said, next game is coming up soon as well. Game number 2 versus Onord. So keep your eyes open for that. Subscribe if you don't want to miss it. And yeah, let me know down below what you think about the matchup and about my idea of how to win it on Slutsk. And see you all next time. Bye bye.